maintenance fund. And GER, what does mean GER? Gross enrollment ratio of higher secondary, that is. So to improve that one, what the government says, to improve our gross enrollment ratio, we are implementing this scheme. We need to develop a personality. Why we need to refine or reform our personality? To enhance our teaching abilities, to enhance our professional abilities. Gradual release of responsibility is very crucial area for us. TPD, teacher professional development. How far we own our responsibility, how we discharge our responsibilities towards our duty. This is no more about this. A teacher explains model and strategy. This is what I do again. I do and you watch. In our lesson, I do, we do, you do. That's the same again. I do it. I do it means what?
Just like a facilitator, we can reduce our responsibility.
Yes. I am doing, you are watching. That's only I do it. Now collaborative use means we do it. That's what togetherness. That's what together. Where the learner and the facilitator both together enriching the activity. Now guided practice means you do it, I watch it. Understand these three terms. You watch means what? I am doing.
In the presence of teacher.
Yes, together means even the facilitator is also part of it, or else peer learning. Guided practice means the learner is doing, the facilitator observing. That is what guided practice. Now independent practice, you do it alone. Just you can write this one. Teacher's responsibilities. How he discharges. Right. This diagram indicates for release of responsibility from NCF. What does mean NCF? What does NCF stands for? National Curriculum Framework. Right. It's a competency matrix. Right. Now let us see. What is this? Teacher competency. This is matrix. In the matrix, there are how many pictures are there totally?
7.
6 pictures, but finally domains of TCM. So what is the first one? Understanding of learners and creation of conductive classroom culture. How we can conduct the classroom in a better way? Just we discussed in morning, right? When you refine yourself, when you know your weak areas, when you strengthen that weak areas, you can conduct the classroom in a better way. So understand the classroom culture means understand your learners perfectly, where they are, what kind of inputs you need to provide to them. Second one, policy, curriculum, content, knowledge. Policy is issued by whom? Policies are made by the policy makers. That's government. We being a government servants, we need to obey that policies, we need to implement the policies. We should hold the responsibility to transact the policies to the ground level. Isn't it? Because we are the primary functionaries. Now quality teaching learning process, the third one. And English proficiency is related to our learning. How we can brush up our personality, how we need to refine our proficiency, how we need to improve your academical competencies. That all under this category, English proficiency. Now, social, emotional, ethical and learning. Right? And the collaboration with students, colleagues and parent community. So finally it leads to what? Professional development. The term is very important, professional development. How we can develop your profession. We discussed in morning, only just we need not to confine that classroom or our English grammatical elements and subject transaction. When you develop all these areas, understand? So everything is, there is an intimate connection to your personality and your transaction. We know that how a person with a sick body, a sick mind, a ill health, what kind of transaction, without developing his proficiency and competency, what kind of, yes, there is an intimate connection to your health and your academical transaction. So there's finally domains of TCM. So all these are teacher competencies, right? Did you note down it? You can just draw this diagram, at least write in a vertical mode all the points, and just we keep these points, and based on that, if you are trying to change yourself, if your attitude, then that will be more helpful to our profession. Sure. Can you define this? Understanding of the learners and conductive of classroom culture. Add some points, sir.
What is the our students' capacity, where they are, what kind of what is the language, just the teacher has to give them,
Has to supply to the
students, and what kind of methods that we have to adapt to enrich this language proficiency and
Yes.
whatnot.
Right, very good, sir. Any more? Yes, sir.
Children have different thoughts before coming to the classroom.
Yes.
We must evolve all the thoughts and they are enter the transaction.
Yes.
We are make them to prepare to learn.
Physical. We cannot provide conductive classroom culture. What does mean conductive classroom? We are transacting one content, but the learner has to receive it. The learner has to understand it. Understand, and what kind of inputs you are providing, the output should come out in a proper way. For that, the conductive classroom is very much essential, isn't it?
Providing some activities,
Yes.
charts and everything.
Yes.
They will speak something.
Right.
We will expect something from him.
Yes, sir. That's all possible after understanding the learner only. Okay, right, sir. Did you all clear the first point? Let us the second one. Policy, curriculum, content, and knowledge. We are here, the government giving some policies or some guidelines, and you have a knowledge, and you have a knowledge and content. So just like triangle. See, this is government's policies. Here you are, and your knowledge and content. All this triangle shape should be transacted to whom? To a learner. Understand? So you must keep in these policies and this curriculum is content. Matter English, you are giving a knowledge. We are providing knowledge only while we are teaching grammatical elements of transaction. Understand? And frankly speak, to transact a right to knowledge to your students, isn't it? That is enough knowledge. But the remaining all content and your personality, those play a vital role. See that it is scientifically designed everything. Self-awareness. After retrospecting yourselves, how best you are giving, and chuskondi. Next one, English proficiency that we are developing, and we have to develop it. It is all a process. Nobody should claim that I am proficient in language. It is wrong actually.
It is a continuous process.
Yes, it's all a process. Understand? Right. Next, social, emotional, ethical learning. This is SEAL. SEEL. SEAL. Understand? Social, emotional, ethical learning. Here we discussed a lot of your emotions, the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Everything we discussed morning, isn't it? If you know that clear distinguishing between knowledge and wisdom and your emotions, if you are able to control your emotions, isn't it? Then only you can do it in the classroom. Ethical learning. Ethically, it's always related to one personality, isn't it? Now, collaborating with the students, colleagues, parent community. This is also very important. How you are, behave with your colleagues, with your rest of the staff members. Alone. If any teacher says that I am not mingling with some people, certainly there is a damage in your personality. Certainly you can't deal a better class, better delivery in the classroom. People are different. When in your house we are 4 or 5 members, isn't it? All people are not equal. How we are balancing ourselves? అన్ని మనకి చూస్తుంటే జరుగు ప్రపంచంలో మన ఇంట్లో సొసైటీ ఎక్కడైనా సరే యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఎగ్జిస్ట్ ఇట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు కాంప్రమైజ్ ఇట్ సో దిస్ ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ వై ఐఎమ్ స్పీకింగ్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ యువర్ ఎమోషనల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ Understand how you are with your colleagues, how you are with your administrator. Understand whether you are superior or inferior. Both are dangerous. Understand? So this is very important, sir. Social, emotional, ethical learning, collaboration with the students. It's all important, sir. Understand? So that we need not degenerate ourselves for substandard teaching. So collaboration with the students, truly a professional teacher. Being a professional teacher, you have to understand your learner. So you can understand his peer group. And this is one. See, introduction to English language teaching, components of English language teaching, planning for English language teaching. Right. Now, how we introduce English language teaching? This is our fundamental thing. How we introduce the language. We are learning English language as a third language, isn't it? The first language is mother tongue, second language is our national language, third language is English. We know the importance of English language, what kind of, the importance the language possesses, right? You can explain the importance of English language. Now come to components of English language teaching. What are the main components of language teaching? The other day we discussed, not today. What are the first one? Words. What is the first one? Words. Next?
Sentences.
Pardon?
Sentence.
Structure. That is syntax. First one is
Syntax.
morphology. Second one is
Syntax.
Structure. Next. Third one is thought process. Thought. We are dealing language, poetry, prose, supplemental reader. Ultimate aim of all this literature is what? Thought. To refine the thought of learner. So this is the components of main. Morphology means word formation. Next syntax. Next finally thought. But we need not to confine these three. Above all that, our emotions. Now planning for English language teaching. How we plan, that's based on our lesson plan. So these three, that what is English language learning, operational literacy, cultural literacy, competency based learning. What is CBE? The other day we discussed the difference between learning and acquisition. Learning and acquisition. Actually, acquisition, not learning.
Actually,
Right?
listening and expressing ourselves.
As a teacher, what we have to do?
Speaking.
We have to provide that natural setting, natural discourses, right? The ultimate aim of language teaching is what? Only speaking. He is not speaking of English language. He is speaking of general language, any language. How a language can be learned? To acquire language naturally through listening, first one, and expressing ourselves through speaking. Only these two skills are exposed there, listening and speaking, learning. Language learning through these three concepts: operational literacy, cultural literacy, and critical literacy. Cultural and critical. Critical means logical. The systems and socio-cultural structures. Right? Not only the sentence structure, we being a language teachers, we are dealing sentence structure. Voice, sentence, speech, sentence transform. That's all what? Sentence transform.